Good morning, everybody. Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to another presentation of the Solid Sports video blog. We tried this again on another day. Today is episode 338 of the Solid Sports video blog. Today's date is August 4th, excuse me, 2026. I appreciate y'all for watching. Troy West here as always, as you're watching the Solid Sports and Gaming channel. We tried to, like I said, Thursday. I apologize. Had to cancel. Well, I want to say it was emergency. It was emergency for my roommate, my brother. He had to come home, so I had to get off. And I was going to try to uh, push it to the afternoon, but just couldn't do it. So, and I got a busy work week this week. I thought I was going to work today, so that's why I didn't preset the live too far ahead because I could have been at work today, but obviously I'm not. So appreciate y'all for joining us this morning. So like I said, apologize for for last Thursday. But that's good because some things happened to make the show a little bit more interesting today. MLB, of course, the trade deadline was yesterday. A couple of big names got moved. Not too many, but a couple. We'll touch on that. We'll look at the playoff picture and the standings as we always do every week. NBA, I didn't really get to talk about LeBron. I did a short on him going to the Sixers. Now that was been a week ago now? Was it been 2 weeks? Um, so I give my depth on that and touch on some other things going on in the NBA. And NFL, like I said, the Hall of Fame game is only 2 days away. Thursday night, Panthers and Cardinals is Thursday night, so get at least a little bit of football. Of course, preseason is the preseason, but it's still the NFL. So big week this week as we kick off the preseason with that. Um, and I just will give my thoughts on the QB battles going on in the NFL. Like the Minnesota with Kyler and JJ McCarthy, Cleveland, of course, with Deshaun Watson and Shador Sanders, and the other quarterback battles, possibly Atlanta with Tua and we got some news out of Atlanta as well. Some breaking news with Bijan Robinson, but Tua and Michael Penix Jr. And there's another place with a quarterback battle. We'll look at all that. That'll be a feature of the NFL talk today. We'll touch on some WNBA as well. We'll go through the standings and other stuff. Um, so 10:30. I usually go live at 10. But I don't plan to be here long. Let's go ahead and get into the MLB real quick. Get that out the way, and then we'll get into the NBA, and then we'll finish off with the NFL, of course. Let's go and look at the standings first. Then we'll touch on some of the big names that got moved yesterday. Um, Standings. Let me just pull it up now. Um, but ain't much changed, of course. Far as the top teams, they haven't fall off too much. But like I said, the wild cards in each league is bunched up again, as it always. That's why, I think baseball is trying. Like I said, baseball is trying to keep up with the times. Faster games now. I really like the challenge. You could challenge strikes and balls, both the hitter and the catcher. So I think that's made the game better. I thought that would be an adjustment, but that's actually worked out. The challenges, everything else. So baseball is trying um, to be modern. American League East, Tampa Bay Rays still your leader there with a 3.5 game lead over the Yankees. Yankees was quiet. Tampa made a little moves. So they 3.5 back. Boston, like I said, it's pretty much revitalized their season. Just 5.5 back. Orioles 12 back, 4 under. Toronto 13.5 back. They are 7 under 500. Red Sox got, speaking of the Orioles, Red Sox got our perennial player Andy Rushman behind the plate, catcher. He goes to Boston on a deal. Orioles was definitely sellers. We got rid of a couple of our young players. Rushman was out, one our cornerstone players, drafted number one overall. Um, but he moves on to Boston. I guess I think. Me thinking about the Orioles. I mean, I'm from Baltimore, so I follow the Orioles a little bit. They got the young Basaro behind the plate, even though he's hurt right now. I guess they figure he's younger, move on, get some assets for Adley. Um, they made some other trades, but they definitely traded away the pitcher. We'll get into it. Um, so Central of the American League, White Sox now with a 3-game lead, so that's pretty big because it's been tighter than that. Cleveland is 3 back. Minnesota's 4 back, but they're a game under. Detroit, of course, get a lot of criticism for Charles Scuba. That was probably the biggest name that moved, but we thought he would be moved. 4 under, but they only 5.5 back in the division. They Kansas City, big dip, 14 back, and is 21 under. West, Houston Astros. Now this seems to change every week. The Astros now in first place, and they got 2.5-game lead over Texas and Seattle, which is both 2 games back and 3 games under 500. Then it's the A's 12 back, and the Angels are 14 back. A's are 22 under. Angels are 26 under 500. So pretty much season's over for those two teams. East, my Braves got a little bit more breathing room. Philly's been struggling a little bit. We got a 7.5-game lead over them. Miami's hanging in there, 9.5 back. Washington is cooled off. They 13 back, 4 under. And the Mets, 20.5 back, 19 under 500. Mets, like I said, but probably easily the most disappointing team this season in baseball. Milwaukee Brewers lead the Central in the National League. 5.5 back of the Cubs. Cubs been hanging in there. Pittsburgh 500. They 13 back though. That's the biggest. St. Louis sort of been struggling. They 13.5 back. They now a game under 500 as they've been 500 all season long. Cincinnati 5 under. 15.5 back in the division. Dodgers, of course, keep getting richer. You know about the Tar Scuba trade they made with Detroit. So, like I said, the Dodgers, unless, until I see them lose, that's, they the favorite. That's who I pick to win the World Series. There's no question there. It's just going to depend on who gets out the American League to me. Arizona Diamondbacks 9 back. That Padres 11 back. Then you got the Giants and the Colorado Rockies. Giants 21. Colorado 24 back. Colorado is 23 under. And San Francisco is 17 under 500. So that's where we stand with the regular standings. But now that we're in the second half and in the month of August already, wild card, American League, Yankees +6. They're the first wild card. Red Sox the second wild card +4. Then Cleveland holds that final spot. Then it's real tight. About 8 teams. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 teams within 4 games of it. Minnesota's 1 back. Texas 2. Seattle's 2. Orioles 2.5. Detroit 2.5. So despite Detroit and Baltimore probably being sellers, they still with a chance at the wild card. Blue Jays defending American League champions 4 back, so this season's not over. So like I said, I got a long way to go. So long within to me, long as you within 6, I would say 6. But even if long as you're not 10 or more back, I think you got a shot. But you gotta start winning. Like I said, then it's the big drop off. Kansas City 11, A's 11.5, Angels 13.5, but I don't see those teams getting back into it anyway. National League, the Cubs are your number 1 wild card, but a +4. Arizona and Philadelphia are 2 and 3, but they are even. Um, San Diego 2 back, Miami 2 back, um, Pittsburgh 3.5, St. Louis 4, Washington 5.5, Cincinnati 6, and then that's the big drop off in the National League. Giants, Mets, and Rockies again. Not worth to be mentioning uh, for a playoff contention anyway. But like I said, still a long way to go. We'll see if the teams that's in the positions can stay there. But like I said, still basically 2 months left of the season. So that's roughly, just doing the math, at least 50 games or more left easily. So long way to go, but we'll see. We come back in the weekends, like I said, days could be flipped. So that's how baseball is. So we'll see where everybody is next week. Um, but yeah, so the trade deadline, of course, the biggest name that moved was Tara Scrubble. He goes to the Dodgers. Um, and I guess if you're a baseball fan, the Dodgers. But the Dodgers, I mean, they the modern day Yankees. The Yankees back in the '90s didn't mind spending money to get players, make trades because they know they're gonna pay him. So they obviously probably going to pay Schwarber what he wants. Um, uh, I think he's won the Cy Young already before. So uh, I mean, it's the Dodgers just keep getting stronger. Probably now got the best uh rotation in baseball. Um, it's just yeah, basically everybody looking up at them. That's just basically the bottom line. Um, but like I said, it was a lot of trades yesterday that made impacts. I'm trying to see if I can find a list. Um, Let me see. This might give me an idea. Um, um, like I said, sorry for the pause. The Adley Rushman trade, I guess, me being locally here in Baltimore for the Orioles. Now, honestly, I mean, like I said, I think they like the young Basario. He shows some promise, but he's not Adley. I don't know, but I was afraid of this for Orioles because they was pretty much contenders. They won had the 100 game season, first time in a while that the Orioles was that good. But I was sort of skeptical. I'm like, not baseball happens like that. You have a real good season, and then think which I think they should. Like I said, I think they until now, you know, let keep the young guys. I think they should have never let Anthony Santander go. I think that was a mistake to me. Um, but I think the Orioles are just young, so I mean, I think they overachieved too soon, and people just thought, okay, they stay in contention. First of all, this division, the Yankees and the Red Sox, what the Red Sox are doing, and the Yankees, like they go to always be there. Tampa, for some reason, just always in the mix as well. Blue Jays was, like I said, was the champions last year, so in the American League. So this is a tough division. So you didn't think you was just gonna hold down a division every year, but just to be in the mix, and they in the mix for a wild card, but they still on the 500 team. Uh, I don't know for sure what prospects they got back for him, but I mean, as a fan, I guess. I mean, I know the fans are upset, like real true Oriole fans. My brother found out yesterday, and he was, he just shook his head. He didn't understand it. But we'll see. We'll see. You gotta trades in baseball. It takes years to see. I think Adley, Definitely add a lot to. I just surprised they did it in the division. Like any sport, the trade basically a best player to your division rival, it had to be an offer you could refuse. So I'm just gonna. I probably gotta do some research, but I want to see what they got back and um, what the potential is for these guys. So um, we'll see, we'll see. But yeah, the Scuba Stray was the biggest splash yesterday. The Adley Rushman won, of course, because he was an All Star. But a lot of key players moved around, so we'll see if they see in baseball. Sometimes, basically, if you feel like you can make a run, you would make a trade for somebody that may be on an expired contract, but is a good player, and you just basically have him for that run, and hopefully you make the World Series and win it. Then maybe sometimes you decide to keep him, sometimes you don't. That's how it usually goes in baseball. Um, but to me, the biggest, of course, the Screwball thing was big, but um, of course, teams are worried. Like people like Yankees fans say, they ain't make anything happen. But I think they just gotta get healthy. I think they just gotta get Judge back, and I think they'd be fine. Uh, so, but we'll see where things goes. But the Dodgers right now, to me, like I said, is clearly the best team, clearly the best organization, going for their third straight World Series. And long as this team stay together, I don't see a real challenger, to them. So, but like I said, baseball is a little tricky. You get in the series, you just never know. But I think I think the Dodgers' vulnerability is going to be whoever they play in the wild card series, the first round, which I think they still call the wild card. That 5 games, the 5 game series. If they get by that, I think a 7 game series is too long. You see what happened last year. Toronto had them on the ropes. They came back and won 2 games and won the series. So I think a 5 game series, you might get catch up slipping. But other than that, if they get past that series, I see them going all the way again and winning it. So, um, but a lot can happen in 2 months, and that's my point. Still 2 months left. We'll see where we stand. We'll be back next week. I'll let you know what day. Like I said, I always try to aim for Thursdays, but if that's a working day, then I try to do Tuesday or try to maybe do it later in the afternoon. So, all right, NBA, of course. Now that we pretty much in the heart of the off season, summer league is over. All the big names is gone. Our free agency. And now, well, the biggest one that everybody is waiting on is LeBron James. Of course, it's old news now, but he signed with the Philadelphia 76ers. Um, like I said, I did a little 3 minute short on my thoughts on it. Let's get the legacy stuff out the way first. Um, I think, in a way, I mean, I don't think it hurts his legacy per se, but it definitely doesn't help his legacy. I think LeBron is just, uh, I think he's whoever you think about him. That's you. I don't think nothing will change. To at least in my opinion. I guess I speak for me. I think overall though too, but I think but for me, let's just say they win it this year. What he's doing is remarkable though. Before I say what I'm about to say, playing the league. This is 24th season. All-time leader scorer. I think he's top 5 in rebounds and assists. Also, if I'm not mistaken, at least top 10 in all those categories. Um, he's still a good player. I mean, he's not as great as he used to be. Obviously, he has lost a step, but he's still, I say, at least top 15. Some people might still have him a top 10 player. I would still have him as a top 15 player in the league. Um, but if he was, like I said, like I said, to me, he'll never pass Michael Jordan. To me, like I said, I do have him number 2, and some people even disagree with that. Some people still will give Kobe the nod over him. Kareem, um, even other players, but some people definitely Kobe. Some people really got. like I said, like I said, I seen Kobe his whole career. I seen LeBron, obviously. I seen Mike in his prime. I didn't see the '80s Mike, but the '90s Mike I did see. Um, like I said, my top three. I always preface this. To me, no question. To me, Mike, LeBron, Kareem, and I think Kareem. But it's all like I said. It's going to be generational. I mean, I think Michael Jordan's going to hang around because of his shoe. So he's still, around and news for you to think about him. Kareem, like I said, he every once in a while he pops out, but Kareem is what got to be close to his 80s at least. Um, but he should get his respects. I did a lot of research on the history of the NBA, so I know how great Kareem was, even though I didn't watch him play or never seen him play really live. So what he did, he was the best. Like when he retired, he was the best player of all time to a lot of people. He was all time leader, not just because he was all time leader scorer, but I think he got 6 championships. Yeah, because he won one in Milwaukee and 5 in LA, so he got 6 titles. But they, but the Michael Jordan, like I said, it's just to me, it's not just about what he did. It was just how dominant. Like he was unstoppable. Like to me, like I never really seen nobody stop him. Like if he had a bad game, in which there's only a handful of them, it seems. It was just he was off. You know. Now he had a good Bulls team. Like I know, uh, the criticism of LeBron is the first of all the moving around a lot. Like this is his. If you count Cleveland twice, what this is his sixth stop. One, two, three, five. Fifth stop, fourth different team, but fifth. Fifth time leaving. That's going to always be a criticism of LeBron. Um, the Miami thing, a lot of people still upset about. And I think they underachieved. I think you got to, if you was there 4 years, you had to win at least three. That's just my opinion. Um, the Dallas series hurts him, of course. But like I said, I had Dallas winning that series. I thought they would win the next three. But the Spurs came from nowhere. Probably could have beat them twice. So it would have been even worse. Ray Allen, of course, you know what Ray Allen did. And then they won game 7 as well. And that's why, I know that was big, but they still had to go and win game 7. It wasn't like that ended the series. So the Spurs, could have still won game 7. Uh, but then the next year, they just destroyed them. We won in 5 games. Just Kawhi Leonard, that's when Kawhi Leonard pretty much stamped his approval on the league. We're going to talk about him in a second. Um, but this move, like I said, to look at it now, I'm gonna look at it in the basketball perspective. Um, he's going to, like I said, LeBron, his role. That's why I think he will go here because LeBron got an ego. Like he clearly got an ego. He clearly wants people to think certain things. That's no question about that at all. But uh, his role, I'm gonna say this is his role. Have to be this. It's going to have to be a sort of a point forward role. I don't see him being of course, the number one scorer, Jalen Brown. He should be the vocal point. But I think I heard of somebody say this, probably an analyst or something like that. That hopefully the mindset is like, all right, let's make sure such and such get certain amount of shots, this and that. No, I think it should be a flow. Like with whoever's flowing that night, you go that way. Or if it's a certain matchup you could exploit, maybe that player be featured that night. Um, but far as just to say, all right, just for example, Jalen Brown, you definitely get 20 shots. I think that'd be a mistake. I think you just gotta go with the flow. You got to be good players on the team. Even I know a lot of people think VJ about to be xed out a little bit. Even some people say maybe he should come off the bench for because they got KCP and some other role players. Um, there's a lot of different ways to look at it, but I think definitely he's gonna have to be the point forward, and I think he should play, maybe 30 minutes and then, start, but then, probably go to the bench early, play with some of more of the second unit guys, and then you could be, that's where you get your role, as far as the score and stuff like that. That's how I would do it. And B gonna have to be healthy, of course, for this team to be anything. For me to be for a championship contender, I'm gonna put it that way. They'd still be a decent team without if Embiid ain't around, but I think if Embiid somehow can stay healthy and be that Embiid, then that's what puts them with the Knicks, with the Spurs, with the Thunder. But other than that, I still got them under that. And then another good point, and I've seen this myself in the history of the NBA. Anytime you put a team together for the first time, Jalen Brown, this is his first year there. LeBron, this is his first year there. Um, Usually don't work the first year. It didn't work for them in Miami the first year. Like I said, they lost. Um, oh well, the Warriors probably is the exception, but Kevin Durant and I think I saw him. He said he commented, so I'm gonna look at his comment, see what he said. He said it's similar to that team, but Durant is just such a he don't need the ball. He can be a spot up a shooter. He can play 1-on-1, but he fit right in with the Warriors. Of course, Philadelphia they're gonna have to figure something out. Who role, who's in a certain role. People we already like Kevin Durant can play any, and that's why I think he's so great. He can just you can just put him on any team and he can give you 25 points easy, and he don't have to have the ball in his hand. He can play off the ball. He can play on the ball. He could just be a spot up shooter and still he could just do it all. So and he was exactly what the Warriors needed because they didn't really have a guy of his stature. I mean, even though Clay was Clay, but Clay was more of a screen guy. So was Steph. Draymond ran the pretty much point forward, so he was just that. It was just heaven for him to fit there. And I think if he wouldn't have got hurt, of course, and him and Draymond wouldn't have had a little spat. Who knows? He probably would have stayed there. They would have been, even a better dynasty than what they was. But other than that, when teams get together the first time, it usually don't work. Um, especially to this magnitude. I'm trying to think some other times. Well, I'm gonna go just say for LeBron, they usually didn't work the first year when he joined the team together. Cleveland, when he went back to Cleveland, didn't work the first year. So I think it's gonna take. It might unfortunately take a year for them to do it. He got a 2-year contract, so I believe he's gonna honor that. And I believe also, and then we can move on. LeBron gonna want a farewell tour. I don't think he's just gonna just like he was saying. He mentioned basically last week. He really didn't know. He really thought about it. Nah, I think he. I'm not saying he probably knew he was gonna go, but he's going to announce his retirement like either in the middle of the season or in the season. He's not going to just let's just say the off season just say all right I'm not coming. But no, I'd be shocked if he did that. I'd be really shocked. But like I said, this wasn't a shocking choice. I just thought Miami. I did really only why I didn't see Miami because he's already been there. Him and Pat, even though Pat would have probably both of them probably they professionals, so he probably would have went there and just played basketball. But um, uh, I really thought either Cleveland or Miami. I had them over Philadelphia anyway. Um, but then honestly, the more I think about it, the more I think this was, you know, it's not a surprise because, like I said, Miami and Cleveland was too obvious, and LeBron don't never be really obvious when he making decisions or when he doing things. Um, so with that, you think about it on that end, then yeah, it's not a huge surprise at all. Um, okay, try to pull up Kevin Durant's comments on what he thinks. Um, and like I said, that's going to be interesting. Like, uh, I guess the more and more time going on, I guess he's going to stay in Houston. But I thought he would be moved. And it still can happen. But I like Kevin Durant though. I think he's one of the. I think he's underrated because Everybody didn't like when he went to Golden State, and then but he was the best player on that team. Now, if he'd have went there and really just fitted in, but he did, but he was the best player. He was the best player clearly, even over Steph. So uh, I think he don't get enough credit for that, and then just overall, just the way his game is, things of that nature. So, all right, let me see. Okay, this is what exactly said. Quote: The last time they put 3 20-point scores on the team, they said it was unfair, which was the Warriors team I was on. This is what Kevin Durant saying. He was at a USA basketball event. This was Saturday. Uh, the Sixers got 4 25-point scores on this team. So hell yeah, I think they're going to be a contender. They're going to be fun to watch. It's going to be league pass worthy. Okay, so they ain't really say nothing crazy. Um, yeah, so that is true. I'm about to say 24. Yeah, that's I forgot about Maxi. So and LeBron had definitely averaged 25 points in his career before. So yeah, okay. He said some more. I didn't know it all. Durant said LeBron is stuff like that. Okay, it's basically they asked him, did he know? Like, did he talk to LeBron or did he know? It blanked out though. But yeah, he ain't say nothing too crazy. I think that's pretty much enough. But um, yeah, I mean, that's why I'm saying it's gonna like even let's just look at Philadelphia. Yeah, yeah, they won. They was able to upset Boston and come back from 3-1. Um, but clearly, him and Maxi was still trying to get a rhythm. Some nights it worked out. Some nights it didn't. And B, you got to slow the pace down a little bit for him. So yeah, it's gonna take an adjustment. It's gonna take a while, and then if it be in and out the lineup, I think by playoff time, if you don't have a rhythm, it's gonna hurt you eventually. In a 7 game series, so uh, that's my only issue. I think they're gonna be a good team. They're too talented not to be, but I think continuity matters in the NBA. So if they don't have it enough, yeah, it's gonna hurt them. So um, all right, so that's pretty much it with the NBA. I just want to touch on the Kawhi Leonard situation. Of course, that was news that came out about a week ago about the trade. So as of right now, that trade is on hold. Um, Going back to Toronto, and I kind of bummed out about it because the Raptors are right there. They get Kawhi, and if he's healthy, I think they can put a monkey wrench into this whole Philadelphia Knicks, heat with Giannis. I think they can sort of get in the way of that. Um, and then they said the investigation might last till next year. So what do you do? Like, is the trade is just on hold, and like it's never, or is it like it never happened? Because if that's the case, what if one of the teams change their mind? What if let's just say, that's why I need to probably figure this out. Like, because I figure they still will be able to play, if it goes into the season. Um, let's just say the Clip. I'm gonna use the Clippers because I think Toronto is going to be if they definitely want this trade to happen because obviously you're better with Kawhi than you are with Bi. Even though I like Brandon Ingram, because that's basically what the trade is for. Uh, Clippers, in the West now is sort of other than the Spurs and OKC, you could say the West is wide open. What if the Clippers get off to a great start, like be top three, top four? I throw Denver in there, but I put Denver under the Spurs and the Thunder, but Denver probably your solid three. What if you get a top four, top five? Like I guess, like I said, I guess no matter like, can you rescind the trade? Let's just say if The trade went through, but then the NBA called it back. Now, do it work? Like, is it already done? Like, if they don't, like, do the NBA got to be the one to say, all right, Kawhi, y'all did too much. So, or is it still, like I said, it's a lot of questions still. Like, do this trade, is it just about discipline? Like, is the trade still going to go, like, let's just say they find something, is the trade still going to go through? Like, I don't know how that works. So, but that's going to be right, bro. That's why I kind of hope they get it over with before whatever this investigation is. But I don't know why it should take so long. I understand you got to be sure and dig about things, but I don't see why it should drag out till 2027. I really don't. And like I said, I don't, like I said, you don't know. I mean, I'm just a fan, but I figured it, like, I'm not saying, like, let's just say they find something. I figured that, like, they ain't the only one have done it. Kawhi, like, I know other players have done this, other teams have done it to make their player happy, if this is true or not, with this basically manipulate the cap. And but what I read and what I heard, basically Kawhi had to do nothing. It was just his name, and then he just got, what was it, 20 million or something like that. Very weird, but um, somebody dropped the ball and they got out there. So Pablo Torre, which I know from ESPN, um, I think he's pretty much the spearhead of the story. I think he broke it first. So yeah, so I hope it gets done before then. But I would like to see it go through, because then the East to me, even now, I think the East is a little deeper than the West from top to bottom now. I think in the East you're gonna be playing some good basketball teams almost every night now. Um, you know, and with the draft. But the West is still, I mean, it's a lot of parity in the NBA, which, in history you're not used to. You're used to, two or three teams being, fighting every year. Maybe a team come from nowhere here and there, but I think the NBA overall in both conferences is pretty deep. Um, you can make an argument for almost every team that at least can make the play in, minimum the playoffs. So that's where we stand. But I hope they get figure that out, because it'll make it better for basketball to be, if that trade is allowed. But if not, then I have to move on and see what happens from there. All right, so that's it with the NBA, because like I said, there's not really much going on. So let's move on to the NFL. We got somewhat breaking news. It's been about an hour or so now. Um, Falcons extends B.J. Robinson, making him the highest paid running back in NFL history. 3 year extension worth up to $75 million. I think he deserves it. I didn't see a lot of Atlanta games lately, but this guy is definitely the vocal point of this offense. So um, just well, sort of shocking to see a running back. Running backs usually don't get paid, except the elite ones like Saquon and Derrick Henry. Like, to me, it's still the top two in my opinion. But B. John's right there. Christian McCaffrey, could throw him in there. I like Jonathan Taylor as well for the Colts. I think he's solid as well. But after that, it's pretty much um, people start to put Jameer Gibbs in there. We'll see what Detroit do now with this new deal. Um, so, but congratulations to him. Atlanta, the Falcons got a good offense. They just need their quarterback, which we're going. Matter of fact, perfect segue. We're gonna, like I said, I wanted to talk about quarterback battles, and Atlanta has one with Tua Tagovailoa and um, Michael Penix Jr. Um, Honestly, both sort of similar. Like, well, Tua has done more in the league, of course, because he's been in the league a little longer. Had some good years in Miami, but both left-handers, um, both injury prone. So, um, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how that one goes. Honestly, to me, that's a real toss-up to me. Haven't heard a lot about it in camp though. Like who's ahead of who. Let me pull them up real quick. Maybe I can at least I'll put up the depth chart. Maybe that would give us an indication who's leading in that one. But honestly, that I like Michael Penix Jr., but I probably will lead with Tua. Tua has more experience, um, but just on a short leash. If or we'll see what happens. They ain't played no preseason games yet. But to me, yeah, you gotta. I would think Tua just because he got a little bit more experience. He would probably start the season as your starter. But I like Penix. I mean, I liked him in college. He's had his moments in the NFL, just a few moments, but he's had them. So um, I don't know. I think he got a shot though. I think it's a real quarterback competition. I don't think this is one of the fake ones, which I'm gonna get into with some other teams in a second. But yeah, but uh, but yeah, Bijan gets paid. Um, so like I said, you got Drake London. They got a talent offense. Uh, Pitts, the tight end. So you got weapons there in Atlanta. Defensively, they got to improve. They issue has been pass rush. For so many years. Um, Kyle Pitts. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of his name. Got a great offensive line as well. But yeah, they say Tua right now is your number one. Pennis is on the injury report already. So right now, if see the start of the day, Tua probably start. But um, yeah, man. I mean, the Falcons got opportunities. The AFC, NFC South is wide open. Tampa's having their issues with Baker. Um, Carolina is okay, but they not a juggernaut. Like I said, I think in that division, the Saints. Like I said, watch out for the Saints. Don't be surprised if the Saints is overachievers this year. Um, but so I pretty much think Tua will probably wind up starting the season. And then, like I said, they both injured, so he might get hurt anyway before the season starts. So I think they both going to play this year. But we'll see who is the perennial starter. But right now, yeah, I would say Tua is your leader there. Minnesota Vikings. I guess right now, only thing you been hearing out of camp that Kyler has done some things well. Um, they say he's still having problems with the playbook. We'll see. He got to try to end that narrative somehow. That's just gonna always stick around with him, I think, unless he plays well. Um, JJ McCarthy, really haven't had a chance. I don't want to say haven't had a chance because he had his chances, but he's been hurt as well. Um, I had that good Monday night game. I forgot who it was against. Was it against the Lions? I think it was. I know it was a night game. I think it was a Monday night game. That probably was the best game of his career. Um, uh, but other than that game, he's been up and down when he has played. Kyler right now is your number one. I think Kyler's going to win the job, though. I just think Kyler's. I like Kyler Murray. I know some people are probably low on him, but I like him. But he's going to have to, get better with because this is like I know in today's league you need an athlete at quarterback. Even with Lamar, even though Lamar won MVPs, but he's won MVPs because he threw 40 touchdown passes. So um, yeah, so he's gonna have to get better at just scripted plays. I put it that way, instead of just running around and making a throw. Like that's not gonna always work. Um, in the NFL either. You still that's why it's always going to be a place for prototype pocket passers like I would say Matthew Stafford is still that. Um, you know, players like that. But mostly it's athletes out here, but he's gonna have to get better at that. If so, he'll win this job easy. McCarthy, like I said, Michigan, college is different from the pros, but Michigan, it was like, he was all right, but I didn't think he would be a top. I thought he probably would go in the second round. He was more of a second, third round quarterback to me. But they drafted him number one, so he's going to get his chances. But we'll see if Kyler can hold on to that job. Let's see what other places having a quarterback battle. Uh, Cleveland, of course. Well, now I don't know. You're hearing a lot about Shador. You're seeing the highlights in camp. Deshaun Watson is struggling in camp. Um, but I still feel like unless Deshaun gets hurt, it's going to be his job. I think this is his last season though in Cleveland though, because I think they want to get off. They probably not going to resign him anyway. Um, but because of that money, they gonna yeah they gonna I think they're gonna have him be the starter. But I think it'll be sort of similar to last year. Deshaun, if they start off what bad, like let's say they start 1-5 or whatever, maybe Shador will get his shot. Um, but I think as of right now, even though Shador's look better at camp, I think Deshaun is Deshaun's job to lose. So, um, but uh, but you never know. We'll see. I mean, it's a new coach there, so he has no. Um, it depends because well, Cleveland, even if you're the coach, you gonna listen to management if they tell you to do something else. But which is clear, as you see last year, that was a disconnect there. Um, but he has no loyalty to anybody here, so it ain't like he drafted anybody. So we'll see. Uh, but I don't know. So Shador might have a chance, but I just don't think. I think management's not gonna allow Deshaun not to get out there at least start the season. That's just my opinion on the Browns quarterback situation. And the other one, which is sort of one, but I think uh, it's more strategy for the Las Vegas Raiders. Um, of course, you got the number one pick. Uh, hey, what's the kid's name? I'm having a brain fart here. Fernando Mendoza. Kirk Cousins, of course, is there, the veteran. Uh, but I would start. Like I said, this is just my opinion. I don't know. Really, out of camp, basically they saying they would do what I said. Start Kirk, let him play. If the Raiders somehow catch fire and win games, keep him in there. Let Fernando sit. If not, just start to go down the train. They start losing as they people expect to. But the Raiders got some offensive talent as well. Um, Brock Bowers was probably going to be the highest paid tight end when it's his turn. You see what Bijan just got. And they came in the league at the same time, I believe. Same draft, I believe, right? So, um, and right now, Kirk is your starter, according to the depth chart. So, I start Kirk. Um, unless Fernando really blows it out the water, I would start Kirk to start the season. Um, I think that's why you bring him. I don't think you would have brought in a veteran if he wasn't expected to start him. So all that's why I think he was at least start the season. Barring injury, but like I said, you get off to a bad start, get to a softer part of the schedule, you go in and let Fernando take over for the rest of the year. I would do it like that if I was the Raiders. So, but that's it. Everybody else, pretty much, you know who the starter's going to be, unless, like I said, bar injury. You got to definitely say that in the NFL. So, um, let's see if it's any other NFL news other than the Bijan Robinson news, of course. Um, Hall of Fame game is this Thursday. Carolina Panthers and the Arizona Cardinals. Of course, the Hall of Fame ceremony is this weekend. Um, Larry Fitzgerald, I know he's going in for the Cardinals because usually they pick two teams. that has at least one player on each side going in. In Carolina, Luke Kuechly is a Hall of Famer. He's going in. So he, pardon me, I know that Larry Fitzgerald for the Cardinals and Luke Kuechly for the Panthers, they are representing these two teams. And they usually pick two teams with at least somebody's going in for that team or that organization. So, um, but yeah, nothing more news. Uh, Cloudy, the JVL Cloudy signs back with the Texans. The Texans trying to keep up with the Rams, I guess, on that defensive line. Everybody expect Houston to have a historic defense, but I still like the Rams defense over there. I think the Rams defense from top to bottom is a little deeper to me, especially if, well, the if with Darnold coming back. Um, but um, I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but both teams' defense is going to be great. So, um, yeah. So, all right. So that's it. Ain't no more news to talk about the NFL. So, I just like to do this because WNBA does be getting, some news. So let's just look at the standing. Um, but other than that, the news with, well, sort of off the court news, I would call it. It's like a war going on in the WNBA right now between the LGBT community and women. Um, the debate for the last years or so, um, should transgender, particularly transgender men, well, I don't want to disrespect nobody, but basically, transgender playing in women's sports. Um, like I said, my take on it, of course, I don't agree with that. Because just to be honest, you're still born a man, so you're still gonna have that manly body, manly traits, um, just natural strength that women just don't have. They give you advantage. So um, I don't agree with it. Be honest with you, and there's nothing against transgender. I have a transgender niece. Well, you know, she was born a woman, but she transitioned to a man. So I don't have nothing ill to say about transgenders. But as far as crossing them over in sports, I don't think I don't agree with that. So, but the lady Sophie Cunningham from the Indiana Fever, she pretty much spoke out against that. So it's been a little bit of a back and forth. Her going to games, get harassed. Um, I think one of the coaches wore a T-shirt basically saying transgender kids belong. First of all, should be no transgender kids. Period. Um, that's just my opinion. I think if you're going to do that, wait till you're an adult. Actually live a little life a little bit before you make that decision. And that's why I kind of wish I could talk to my niece. It's hard for me to. It's like I said. I'm not against it. It's just like I don't know what to say or not to say to be offensive. Like I don't know if she still. I know she changed her name, and I when I last time I talked to her, I don't talk to her much, but it's hard for me not to call her name. I've been calling you this name for. I think she transitioned about 2 or 3 years ago, but my niece is about what's this 26, so she's 24 years old now. So she's definitely a grown woman, but I haven't talked to her probably. I used to talk, but she was a kid. I talked to her all the time. Then she went off to college and stuff like that. But anyway, um, I've been calling you your name, for 18, at least 18, 19 years. So it's hard for me to call you this other name now, which I know it. It's just a difficult situation. Um, but we all, like I said, I mean, I don't want to say if you're lucky because that don't sound right either. But if you don't have any transgender in your family or gay, because I got I got all types of stuff in my family. So and they still my family, and I don't think of them any differently um, for their choice. So I'm not gonna. I'm definitely not gonna be the one that just now when it start like only my only issue is one like to keep it with sports. Yeah, I don't think you should mix transgender into sports at all. I'm sorry, like that's just I know you. I mean, or but see it ain't gonna work either. I was saying, well, have your own lane, but you just can't. Like I think that's and I don't want to use the word sacrifice, but I think that's what you sacrifice that you might can't do those things. You know, I mean, I think that's part of the choice that you make when you decide to transition. I think that's uh, sort of something you got to just live with, just with everything else that goes along with it. I think that that's my opinion. Um, and just don't like I just don't like how they sort of promoting it now in social media, um, things of that nature to the kids. Like, cause you're an adult, you can do what you want to do. It's just trying to manipulate the children. And I feel that about gays also. Like, cause it's I mean I'm not saying it's taught in a way, but you go by what you see. So if you just let's just say, cause I know, all right, uh I'm gonna use my family example. Like my one of my cousins, she's bi. I guess I would call her bi because she messed with both guys and women, right? But what if like my little cousin? You know, I think, in my opinion, and like I said, I could be wrong. It's just been she just happened to grow up and want to be women, want to like women, but she dates women. And I honestly think because she saw it at a young age, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I could be wrong about that. I don't know. I didn't ask. I mean, and I wouldn't ask. But I mean, it might be even offensive for me to be question it. But that's just me. Like I just feel like if you're around something, of course you're going to be that way. But then you can argue like we still have people that's not around it at all. Like my niece, I don't think I don't know where my niece got the. It's she wasn't around things like that. So why did she feel like she wanted to? So it's just a tough situation. I just, I'm not, as far as with sports, I'm definitely don't like it. No, like, yeah, I don't think you should be able to play in a woman's sport. If you're a transgender, I'm sorry, I don't think so. But that's the war. Like I said, now it's a little bit of a war going on in the WNBA now. Then the Caitlin Clark, she's always in the news or something because something either somebody did to her or something, So but like I said, I think I said this last time I talked about WNBA. Like this is honestly this what keeps it relevant because if they just was playing basketball, let's be honest. I mean, you got your hardcore fans, but I think that gives it more eyeballs. I think that gives people honestly gives them more press. To be relevant in the news or in the sports world. So unfortunately, I think stuff like this got to keep happening for them to. If they start to get quiet, I think people will probably stop watching, which is crazy to say, but that's what I believe. So, all right. So I said I was gonna go through the standings, and then we're gonna get up out of here. Um, Minnesota Lynx 25-6. See, this is stuff you should be trying to push. Uh, Best record: Las Vegas 21-9, Golden State 20-9, Dallas and Indiana 19-11, Atlanta 18-11. So Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark neck and neck. New York Liberty 18-13, Washington 16-12. And I think the top eight go to the playoffs. Everybody else, and it's a big drop after that anyway. LA 11-17, Phoenix 12-19, Chicago 11-19, Portland 11-19, Toronto 10-19. Then Connecticut and Seattle, I think they was both contenders last few years, right? Connecticut 7-23 and Seattle just 6-26. So, um, but yeah, that's your standings right there. So I think it's about a month left in this year. I think they playoffs start like September. So um, we'll see. But I think that's it, y'all. That's it for today. Like I said, we had a big show today. We got an hour in. I appreciate y'all. So I know I've been slacking with the uploads. All I've been pretty much uploading is random Call of Duty videos. I gotta get back into. Well, um, I got past it a little bit, but I got the Doom DLC, so I wanted to share that with y'all. I wanted to share Hades 2 with you guys. Resident Evil Requiem. Um, so there's some stuff I just didn't finish. But like I said, like I said, I had a busy work week this week with my job, but I'm trying to find some in the evening. So if that happens, I'm definitely not going to have a lot of time for the channel. I have to start doing stuff like either late at night or early in the mornings if I'm off. Um, so that's where I stand. Like I said, still trying to figure things out with my kid on the way. So that's what's been pretty much been on my agenda. But I appreciate y'all because, like I said, I'm at Caper. Like I said, he still pops through. My regular still pop through. We have 505 subscribers right now. Hopefully, we can either grow that. But I appreciate y'all joining me this morning. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Um, Next week, well, this week, Wednesday we'll be live Wednesday night as always. Don't know what I'm gonna play yet. I might play something um we haven't played in a while. Friday night, um, we live again. Um, and then we'll do Sunday again. Like I said, I've got to put together a day for the week, and then you can go vote. So, but that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, y'all. I'm Troy West. Said thank you guys for watching. Episode 338 of the Solid Sports Video Blog is in the books. Hope y'all have a good week. I will see you guys Wednesday night. Just keep your notifications on. I might throw something on the community wall, or I might upload a video, surprise you with something I haven't been doing in a minute. So appreciate y'all. Thank you guys. If you're watching the playback, appreciate you as well. I'm Troy West said thank you. Peace and love, everybody. Thank you guys.